afternoon. This is Ed Crow. Today we're going to talk about life insurance applications, both paper apps, IGO E apps, and drop tickets with Pinnacle for life insurance. So we're going to go through a couple things, just basically talking about how you access information such as fax cover sheets, secure email to send apps when you do paper. If you need to do a paper app, which in a minute we'll talk about it, there's sometimes initially when you do need to. We'll talk about how to access, and I'll show you an example of how to access those applications. The Pinnacle site has all of this information available. It's a lot of information, so I'm going to kind of show you how to get there and how to use it. Talk about IGO E applications and how to access them. Differentiate between IGO and drop tickets. They're two different things, so we'll talk about those. And also just a brief talk about same-time contracting, and I think you'll see my outline here is out of order because I think we hit the same-time contracting pretty quickly. I think that's one of the first things, in fact. Okay, so first thing, and again, this is going to be applicable to final expense. We're going to talk about final expense, term, UL, and IUL. The first thing is a lot of companies are same-time contracting in most states. So same-time contracting means you can do your contracting for that company, final expense, term, UL, whoever the carrier is. You can do your contracting, but the company won't actually process that contract and have you be an agent until you submit your first application. So basically, the app's got to come in. We'll have the contracting, we'll send it to the company, but they're not processing until that first app comes in. So it gets a little bit of a chicken and egg effect here for you, but basically what happens is with some carriers, like especially final expense, so like for example Mutual of Omaha and Transamerica, your first app can be paper or an e-app. So they'll let you submit a paper application or do it electronically through the IGO E app to get appointed with your first app. And then once you're appointed, you're all set and you can move forward, but you can do electronic right from the beginning. When it comes to IUL, term, and UL, just about all the carriers require that your first app be paper so they can process your contracting before you can access the e-app. So, you know, we get a lot of times somebody's newly appointed and they want to write a carrier and their first app might be in a different state or somewhere far away. And unfortunately, when it comes to IULs, terms, and ULs, a lot of times they have to do an e-app or do a paper app first before then on all their next applications going forward, they can use the IGO E app for that. Nonetheless, you should always put in your contracting first because just because the carrier is same time, you know, you might as well have your contracting in so then when you write your first app, they have it there and it can be processed more quickly. A little confusing, but I just wanted to clarify that for a minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go through the different areas where this information is on the Pinnacle website. And then at the end of the presentation, I'm going to go on the site actually and kind of demonstrate where you go to access this information. So first of all, everything is on Pinnacle's site. It's at www.pfsinsurance.com. To access the features we're talking about today on the site, you will need a username and password, and we can provide that to you. Any agent that works with us that submitted any kind of contracting has access to the site. Simply you need a username and password and just call us to get it. So you can call us at 203-796-5403, or you can email myself, Edward at crowandassociates.com, or Lisa at crowandassociates.com to get your username and password. So first, like I said, we'll go through and then I'll do the example on the actual site at the end. So you go on Pinnacle's site and they have tabs across the top. So if you want to know where to submit a paper application, so getting the fax cover sheet, or Pinnacle offers free secure email, which when you email apps, you're supposed to send it secure, you'd simply go to the Services tab and you choose the New Business drop-down. And that will, on that page, give you everything. The PDFs of the fax cover sheet, the fax numbers, the link to the secure email, everything you would want is on there to submit a paper application. So to look up, now the other question we get a lot is if somebody says, well, I need to write my first app to be appointed, how do I get my first app? Well, you can get that on the Pinnacle site too. You could either call us and have us send it to you, or you can get it yourself on the site if you want. Same thing, you'd go to the Pinnacle site, you'd click on the Services tab, and then click on the Forms drop-down. And again, I'll show you an example of that in just a minute. You'd choose the carrier, the plan, and the application forms, and you can download the PDF of them. That way you could email it to your client, mail it, whatever you need to do, take it with you to write your first app. One tricky thing when you're pulling paper applications is when you're looking for final expense, some of the carriers actually have it under the category of final expense. Some put it under the category of whole life. So like if you're looking for United of Omaha, you'll go to final expense and there's no app. And you wonder what's going on. Well, it's because they consider that a whole life product, even though it's technically final expense. All right, so that's how you would get paper apps, and I'll demonstrate that in a minute. IGO, for those not familiar, IGO is an e-application that most of the carriers give you access to now. And that's simply a completely electronic process of submitting applications. You'll access the IGO through the Pinnacle site, which I'll show you. You fill out all the information for the prospect, and then you simply email basically that information, the application. You email a link to them for them to sign off and start the processing of the application. So it can be done electronically without a face-to-face meeting. From the Pinnacle site, same thing, always from the Pinnacle site, pfsinsurance.com. You'll access the Forms tab, and then you can go you can either go to the Forms drop-down, or you can go to the Online Enrollment tab, and then Life Insurance drop-down. You can access e-apps, IGO e-apps both ways. And then you click on IGO e-app to access the information. I only have a few slides here because I'm going to spend most of the time demonstrating the site, but a lot of times you'll see options for drop ticket, and people will ask me what that is. Well, you can either do IGO, which is an electronic app where you enter all the information. More or less, you got to sit on the phone with the client and enter everything for them. Once that's entered, then they just click on it sends them a link. They click to complete the application. A drop ticket's different. Drop tickets can be used for term UL and some IULs as well. You'd access that on the Pinnacle site on the quoting tab, and then you could click for term and UL, and you could access the drop ticket. So what is a drop ticket? Basically, that is a way where you can fill out some just very basic information for your client, just very quick and easy contact information and basic info. You submit that, and then the insurance carrier will call the client for all the information they need to complete the app over the phone. You, of course, would be the broker on that. You get paid just as much that way. We're always full street commission on commission for carriers, and you're always paid direct. But you get paid just as much, and in some cases, you even get paid a little more with the carrier using a drop ticket. So that's the difference between IGO and drop ticket. IGO, you enter everything, send them the link to complete it. Drop ticket, you're just online entering some brief information, submitting it, and then the insurance carrier is going to call the prospect to finish the app. So that's the distinction between the two. Okay, now I'm going to give you a walkthrough of the site. So all you would do is you'd go to www.pfsinsurance.com. So here's the Pinnacle site. And everything you do is going to be basically done off of these tabs up here. First, I'm going to show you services. So on the services tab, if you have a paper app and you want to know where to submit it, you go to services and you go to new business. So here you go. This will give you the life cover sheet, for example. There it is. That's a cover sheet you would use to send in your application if you wanted to do so. It will give you the secure email for life insurance. So you click here to use the encrypted email. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And then there's the support numbers, for example, for bill, for business processing. If you want to send it by fax, there's the fax number. And again, by email, lifesales@pfsinsurance.com. If you really need to mail an app, I guess if you have a check, that's the address to do so. So again, that information is on the Services tab under New Business. Now, if you want to access the IGO app information, what you would do, first I'll show you forms. So let's say you want to get a paper application. Same thing, you'd go to Services, go to the Forms drop down, and here you go. So this is for paper apps. If you click IGO, it's going to take you to the IGO app. I'm going to show you the paper first. This is for when you're doing IGO, but we won't go there yet. So Services, we go to Forms, basic search. Maybe we want to look up, get the paper applications for Mutual of Omaha for final expense, for example. They are one of the few that will allow you to do your first app is an IGO, so maybe this isn't the best example, but I think you'll get the idea. So you pick the company you want. This could be for final expense, term, UL, IUL, whatever it may be. You pick the company you want. We'll go United of Omaha for now. Select the type. You want new business because you want to get the forms. We'll go state. We'll use Connecticut, for example. Product type. Here's where it gets a little confusing. Under some, if you're looking for final expense, I mean, if you're going term or UL, no problem. But if you're looking for final expense, you'll notice that Omaha doesn't have a final expense tab. That's because they consider their product to be a whole life product. So we'll click whole life. We'll go living promise. That's their final expense. And we're going to get the paper forms. So there they are. So it basically gives you the application, a replacement notice if you need it. If you want to not have these forms be part of your PDF, you just click on the little button. I'm going to add it back in. They'll give you the basic forms that you need here. If there's something different you need, like the foreign national form or something such as that, you would simply just add it into the package. Click this to show the forms package. And you could email this if you wanted, or you can get a PDF of it. And you can do this for any company. So it's pretty easy to do, pretty easy to use. And you can get, like I said, final expense, term, UL, and IULs on here. So it makes it pretty easy to use. Let's see, let's look at one other one. Maybe we'll go with, look at North American. New business. Again, I'll just stick with Connecticut. Let's see, Index Universal Life. They want to know a product. We can go with the, I don't know, the Builder Plus 2 and hit search. And there you go. There's the package. Again, you can remove forms if you want, add forms if you want. If you can see, obviously, life insurance apps, paper apps are pretty big. A lot of times people will fill these out over the phone and then just send the signature pages to their clients, but that's up to you how you want to handle it. And again, you can either email that or you can just save the PDF. Let's go back and show you the IGO for a minute. All right, for IGO, so you click the IGO tab. And here you go. You can either view existing cases, because I'm logged in as myself, so any cases under me, or you can start a new one. It's really that simple. You put a name in. If I could type, that'd be great. Okay, we'll put in a date of birth. Okay, gender. You can put case description in there if you want. There's your state. We're going to select product type. Depends on what we want to do here. I'll go with IUL. Find available products. And what this is going to do is show you a list of companies that are using IGO e-sign apps. So it makes it pretty easy to do. You've got the e-app here. And that way you can pick the product you want. So let's say, for example, we wanted to use the Builder 2. Hit select. And I'm not going to go through an IGO today. I don't think anybody would want to listen that long. But basically, this gets you on here, and then you can start from there, filling out the IGO application, filling out the information for the prospect, and then at the end, you would submit it. My screen comes back there. There we go. At the end, you would submit it. You'd validate and lock the data, and then you can email it to your client or prospect to do a signature. You can click here if you want to view the forms, because they'll give you the paper application if you'd like, but this is how you would submit the IGO app. Let me take you back for a minute. Let's go back this way. Let's go back in. Now, what if you want to see if somebody has a drop ticket? Drop tickets tend to be on term and UL. So again, same thing. I'd enter my name, client name, put in a date of birth, the gender. Connecticut, we'll select a product type, maybe we'll term, find available products. Now, what it's going to do is the same thing. It's going to show you the companies that are available. You can see, obviously, there's quite a few more that do IGO with their term product. And it's just going to allow you to select the product. If they have a drop ticket, it's going to be listed here. Like you can see, Hancock has a drop ticket. So if I select the drop ticket versus the IGO app, the drop ticket's a lot different. With the drop ticket, I'm just going to enter some basic information, submit that, and then the company is going to call that prospect to fill out the application and complete it with them. So that way you don't have to do it. So as you can see, they're asking for a lot less information this way when you do the drop ticket. So that's how you would do a drop ticket. And again, obviously you'd want to prepare your client for that if they're going to do a drop ticket, just so they, are going to accept that phone call that's going to come from the carrier to complete the application over the phone. I want to show you one other brief thing on here. So this is submitting apps. If you want to quote a term or UL quickly, you'd go to the quoting tab, term and GUL. You can access drop tickets and IGO apps from here as well. This is the quote site. So this site quotes term and UL, again, off the Pinnacle site. Here we go. We won't enter any information. Put in somebody who's 48. Again, we'll go Connecticut, male. We're going to pick a term product. So you could do UL here too. Simplified issue term or term. We're going to go term. Select the length of the term. We'll go 20 years. Death benefit, I'm just throwing anything in there, 500,000. We won't do any riders. You could choose up to 3 death benefits, so it'd give you 3 quotes if you wanted at one time. We'll just do 1 for now. You can either have the system pick what it will guess is their health rating, or you can just choose it yourself. You just click between these 2 tabs. I'll choose it myself for the purposes of today. We'll say this person's preferred. That's my guess after talking to them. Not going to do any flat extras or table rating. I didn't do any riders, and I'll just click Get Quotes. For those who haven't used this, it's very easy to use. This will show you a 20-year term for 500,000, all the carriers and price points for it. And if you want to switch this to monthly, you just go up here and go to monthly premium. You can download these quotes, by the way, save them as a PDF. But for example, we have a protective. If I click apply, it's going to give me the choice. It's going to say, okay, I can do a drop ticket with them or get the paper forms. If the company has a drop ticket, it will show up here as well. AIG, select a term, apply, drop ticket, paper forms. Let's try another one. Lincoln, drop ticket only, off of here. Go North American. Okay, so North American, you can either do an IGO E app or the paper forms. They don't do a drop ticket. So it just will walk you through it. If you wanted to go do an IGO, you just click on the IGO to start it. Paper forms, obviously, you'd click the forms. The quote site will quote term and UL only. You wouldn't be able to use this for IUL information. Again, if you want IUL, the way you got to do that is go to online enrollment in life insurance or go to services and forms. It's the only way you can do it. That's all I had today. I just wanted to do a quick run through of this with you. If you have any questions, please just give us a call. Number's 203-796-5403. Thanks for attending today. Like I said, if you have any questions, give me a call, and I'd look forward to speaking with you. Have a great day.